Well, birthdays are a time of celebration, love, joy, and also reflection. And this year, Martin Luther King's youngest daughter, Bernice King, turned 60.
Yes, and in an exclusive interview with Fox's Eric Perry, they break down Bernice King's legacy, her impact, and what's yet to come.
It's an image ingrained in history. Bernice King cradled in the lap of her mother, Coretta Scott King, at the funeral of her father, civil rights icon Martin Luther King Jr. Decades later, the youngest King sibling has lived a life of service, following in her father's footsteps. Fox 5 was there for a milestone as the lawyer, minister, and civil rights leader herself celebrates turning 60 years old.
Some people are like, oh, 60's coming, but I'm excited. I'm excited primarily because my sister didn't make it to 60.
Her eldest sibling, Yolanda King, died in 2007 from a heart condition. Bernice told me Yolanda loved to party, and that's the spirit she's taking into her private celebration with those closest to her.
So many doors are opening up for me now to help really move the needle on some things.
As she celebrates on a life giving to others, she also focuses on the future. She says a passion project of hers is working to end the racial wealth gap and helping renters transition to home ownership.
We're purchasing a bank in Salt Lake City, Utah, of all places, a white bank. We're going to be converting it to a black bank, and looking forward to how we're going to be able to help elevate not just our community, but communities that have been marginalized.
As she moves towards the future, those strong, eternal flames like her father and mother will always be her guide.
Looking forward to continuing to build an army of nonviolent practitioners through the King Center. I'm very serious about that work and creating the beloved community. And my father said, nonviolence is the pathway.
And in a world with different struggles, she wants to focus on more than just the issues.
What I keep seeing is we're repeating something. We're in a cycle. How do we break that cycle? And so for me, the heavy focus is on how do we teach people to do what Dr. King did, which was to use the philosophy and strategy of nonviolence to address injustice wherever we find it.
Wherever she goes, whatever she does, she knows Atlanta is home.
My ancestors, my great-grandfather, my grandfather, my father and mother made a mark in this city. And I'm hoping that I will be able to continue that legacy.
Sometimes it's just, you just got to give it a beat.
Happy birthday.
Wow. 60.
Yeah, no, I mean,
milestone.
It's a milestone in the sense that her sister didn't make it to that age, and she's celebrating the legacy of her sister, celebrating the legacy of her parents.
Her family.
But again, this all goes back to just the power of Black women, and between that story and the previous story on the Black feminist exhibit, we were blessed to have women like yourself and have women like Bernice King. To be able to, we gotta give you all your flowers.
Yeah, and she's such a beautiful combination of both. I was just looking, how well put together she was, and you can see Miss Coretta, you can see Dr. King. I'm proud to call her, I'm her soror.
Yes.
I'll give her, that honor. Listen, every time I see her speak, it reminds me that, Dr. Martin Luther King was human. There was another side. He had a family. He was a dad. He loved his babies. My mother-in-law was one of his babysitters. And so he was a for real human being. I mean, sometimes we just get this, I have a dream every Black History Month, but he was a for real dude. There are a lot of things that he loved. There's a lot of things that Miss Coretta loved, the music and what she stood for. And just to see that legacy continue with Bernice and the other two siblings who are still with us is just amazing. And it's just a reminder of the human aspect of Dr. King and wife Coretta.
Yeah,
every time it just gets me every time.
And what's crazy about that is we see Dr. Martin Luther King marching through Selma, the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and we see him at his church in Atlanta and in Washington D.C. But at the end of the day, he goes home and he's just like a regular dad.
Daddy.
And to his kids, he was daddy. It didn't matter that he was doing what he was doing. It mattered, but to them at the end of the day, they just wanted him home.
And the sacrifice, you know, the sacrifice, and heavy is the crown, and that mantle that she inherited, I think she wears it and carries it exquisitely.
Yeah.
And so I definitely want to give her flowers. Happy, happy.